What's up guys, I'm Joe. Hey, I'm sure you've seen a rail fence before, but have you seen a crossbuck like this? Let's go check it out. All right, so as we said, this is a crossbuck fence that we got here behind us. We are on location in Greenbrier, and this is a really nice neighborhood, some little bit bigger lots, and got a little bit of openness, even some woods and trees behind them. So that's kind of part of the reason they wanted to have something more open like this crossbuck. But the crossbuck specifically refers to this X right here. So your two middle rails are crossing to make this X pattern, and gives it a nice, unique kind of look, and dresses it up from just a typical either 3 or 4 rail. So as far as material wise, it is similar to a 4 rail fence where you've got 4 rails. It's just essentially these middle two are crossing to make that crossbuck pattern. A little bit about this one, or on this one particular, you can see it's got the welded wire. So this is it's a 2x4 welded wire that it's sandwiched between the post and the rails here, and then it's stapled to the post and the back of these rails to secure it. But this is good for animal containment. They've got little dogs that they needed to keep in, and also you can see some of these longer posts there. She's wanting to keep some of the longer posts to actually grow some things and do some pots and hangers on, but this wire also can act as like a trellis if you were to grow some things on it as well. So serves both purposes with the animal containment and even some vines or trellis work. All right, so one unique thing about the crossbuck is, since we are crossing or doing those diagonal patterns, it does go in the same way as far as we're digging, setting our post. These are a 4x4 post, and then from there with the wire, we run our wire and stretch it and attach it to the post. So since you're not running these to horizontal, then you've got to account for your post spacing, because running this diagonal, it actually makes it to where you've either got to get a longer board for the diagonal, or you got to bring your post spacing in. So these boards here are originally a 16-foot length, and we cut these diagonals, essentially cutting those 16-foot ones in half to make 8-foot boards. Or if you wanted to go longer, you just have to get longer boards than 8 foot. But since these diagonal boards are 8 foot, that was our main constraint. So then, instead of setting these posts on a typical 8-foot spacing, we actually had to bring that in to closer to like a 7.5-foot spacing, so that these diagonal 8-foot boards would span correctly and not be too short from post to post as they're crossing. So that's something you want to plan for on your post spacing on the front end when you're putting this in. Also, you can't see behind this this trim board, but what we did also when we cut these, we laid these out in the angle that they were going to be at the shop before we put them in, and then we actually went ahead and cut the correct angle on one side of these boards, so that we're not having to hold this in place, find the angle, cut it, and then cut the other end. Essentially, since we already have one pre-cut, we can put it up there, it's already got the angle, and then you can butt your next one up to it and go on and trim as needed. But it allows you to be able to put these in a lot quicker and a lot smoother than having to make 2 cuts, put it up there, mark it, put it up there, mark it, back and forth as you're doing your diagonals. So something to consider if you are planning a project like that, to potentially pre-cut and find your angles before you put on your two cross pieces. So what's cool about the CROSSBUCK fence here is that it's a little unique and not something we get to do all the time. We haven't showcased one on the channel before, so we thought it'd be cool to be able to show y'all what goes into it and see the finished product here. All right, so why would you do a CROSSBUCK fence or even a rail type fence like this? For this particular situation, it worked well because, as we mentioned, this is a larger, like, acre lot, but they didn't want to have to fence the whole thing in. But with that, they didn't want to have like a traditional privacy fence where it's blocking the view from the rest of their property or the trees back in the back. So they wanted something more open, but also functional to keep their dogs in. So this is a good option for that, where it's something that this is a 4 foot tall height. So you've got the 4 feet to contain your pets, but something that's not too high to obstruct your view for maybe something like this with trees or woods in the back, or just something that you want to be more open. And then it just also gives a cool look. So if you want this type of look with the benefits of the pet containment or the openness, then it works really well for something like this. You may also see it, you know, in more of a agricultural or equestrian setting with like either horses or livestock or just property boundaries on a larger property. So it can be kind of across the board, but works well here in this yard to keep things open and not be too closed in and confining. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this CROSSBUCK project with us. I hope that's helpful. Make sure and like this video. It helps out a ton, and subscribe to the channel for more fences just like this.